Hey, so we'll be on this kind of 5-day instead of 6-day rotation for a bit until we get caught up with the uploads to the VOD channel, and then we'll sort of oscillate here and there. Not gonna lie, lost things. The prospect of playing Anthem is not an appealing one, and yeah, I know we're late again, but such is life. I was outside. It's a pleasant temperature. Well, you know how it is. We're gonna start the game just as it is now so that we get the maximum amount of time before the performance degrades. Because that's how Anthem functions. What else has been going on? Well, you know, I was thinking about this playthrough and thinking about past playthroughs and kind of talking them over with friends of mine, and realizing that for large stretches of this, I'll be kind of quiet or speechless, and that's because Anthem doesn't really let me invest. I wish it did. I would like to. There isn't any kind of entertainment media where I'm out to get it, so to speak. This wasn't an exercise in just saying, hey, Anthem bad, because, you know, that's been said 1,000,001 times, and we could all go over why and all that other shit, and a lot of it's simple, as far as, like, gameplay loops. The guns need recoil. They also need more convincing sound effects and perhaps some more exotic behaviors for your exotic tier of weapons. And the javelins don't play differently enough to really mean much. And yeah. But more than anything, because, like, if we're being honest about Alan Wake, the mechanics are rudimentary. You hold the beam on things until they're vulnerable, and then you shoot them, and that's it. And it's a third-person shooter. There's a dodge button. Not too much to it, but the loop there is solid and workable and understandable, and there are rules to follow, and more importantly, the setting and the characters are worth investing in that they are present. You know, I know a fair amount about Bright Falls. I know that Sheriff seems to be a family business. I know that the tourism board is run kind of ad hoc. Like, there's not... There are, you know, official kind of county and park services, but there's also just, you know, our mechanic there that rents out his cabin properties to wealthy shitbags looking to pretend they're roughing it. You know, like Alan himself. I know that the town has been struggling with its darkness for quite some time. I know that it was probably always there, and that this has happened in a cycle. I know people that live in Bright Falls. Well, you know, not know them as if we've had conversations, but I can tell you things about them. I can tell you what it is they do, and how it is they behave, and how it is that they have carried on their lives. I can't tell you any of that about Anthem. I can tell you that this guy makes a sales pitch that only the brain dead would follow. But outside of that, there's nothing too Prospero. I can tell you that this lady works on the javelins, but I can't tell you if she likes her job or likes the freelancer that we're playing. I can tell you that Owen sucks, but I can't tell you why he sucks. And I can't tell you why it is that he's gone unchecked in his life so long, you know? Because typically, if you're that incapable of judging your own frailties, your own shortcomings, your own weaknesses, someone comes along real quick to exploit them, and you don't recover. I can't tell you any of what I should be able to tell you when, say, you just look at a scene like this. It looks lived in, it's cluttered like it is, you know, and there are people doing something, but this lady might sell pots, or she might sell these fruits. Which is it? She might sell carpets. She might sell whatever the fuck is in these bags. I don't know. She might sell this. Just these. All of the, like, even all of the clutter is mismatched and mismanaged. Like, okay, do you sell food here? It looks like it. Or is it these, like, the baskets themselves? Is, what is to drink? Is it just water? Is the butcher here part of this seemingly fruit stand there? What are we butchering? That looks fried. What are we frying it in? I don't see anywhere to fry it. Like, this is all to say that the game does a whole lot of pretending that it has depth, but when you try to interact with it on that level, you come up empty-handed. And this is a common thing that it shares with Destiny, in that they'll hint at greatness and at history, and at a sense of place and of person, but it's not there, and grasping at it just, like, the harder that I pull at it, the more the grains slip through my fingers. Well, let's get this side contract going. And then we'll continue with the side stories for the other two. I believe we have Matthias and Sentinel Dax, who is a princess, and this plays into the events here not at all. You would figure that she would have the ability to requisition some pretty impressive resources for this. I know, dude. I know. Or that she would be able to express some sort of, like, political pull with Commander Vul there in order to keep her on this case and to get him out of the way. But there is not that tug of war. There's not that conflict of him being technically the commander in this place, and therefore her superior as a sentinel, but her having a whole lot of other political channels to go through that would make his life very, very difficult. Like, they just didn't. And the reason that they didn't is because nobody thought about it. That's all I can arrive at.
I need to find out what happens in that.
They just went, well, wouldn't it be cool if she was also a princess and, like, royalty and stuff? That's awesome. And they didn't think, like, you know, isn't she friends with several senators or however it is they fucking govern things here? Wouldn't she have, like, rubbed elbows with Vul's superior? Who's seeking favors from, you know, a member of the royal family that she could, you know, kind of tug the strings of? It just... It's the danger of saying shit without thinking about what you're saying. Anything that we do, and this is in fiction or in reality, is going to have consequences of a sort. Like, there is no such thing as a life without causing ripples. You'll always have affected something somewhere. And a common issue in the sorts of stories that this tells, and like Destiny tells, and Final Fantasy XIV tells, and so on and so forth, is that there are no consequences. Everything exists within a vacuum, and that includes positions. So anyone can claim to be anything, and that doesn't mean a single fucking thing, because nothing means anything. It gets frustrating in how easy that is to avoid, and how few storytellers actually do avoid it. Yeah, you know, instead we're doing this with Bryn, who apparently has an enormous amount of latitude. Like, she can kind of do whatever the fuck, right? And Vul just goes, yeah, well, you know, just Just kind of keep it down in here, you crazy kids. But someone who is in line for the royal family, which is treated like a big deal, is not. She has to not only care what Vul says, but follow his instructions.
All clear. Enemies down.
And like, that seems reversed.
Another Sentinel patrol's under attack. Head to their location and see what's happening. I'm on it.
There we go. Alright. We're out of here. We're off to the next thing. And it's similar issues with the world design. You know, another one that falls into that trap is Black Desert. Great big beautiful world. Plenty of places to go. Very little to do or interact with or invest in. Like, they'll tell me that this is Howl's Tower. I don't know who Howl is. I don't know why this tower is significant. I don't know why it's still intact out here and unoccupied. It's just clutter. It's set dressing. It's got nothing to do with the place that I'm supposed to be in or the people that are supposed to live here. They wrote a blurb that affects nothing and means nothing and teaches us nothing, and stuck a building there in order to break up what is otherwise an even more bland landscape. But they do it with bland architecture on top of that, and it's just fucking... This is the khaki fucking chinos of games. There's nothing wrong with it. There's also nothing right with it.
We found the patrol. Careful, we see stars, sentinels, and a lot of turrets.
And it was made by weird, out of touch, fucking basically nobody people that wouldn't be able to tell form from function if you were to illustrate it cleanly in a child's book. It just... It's all flash where there is flash, and even that's sparing because you don't want to make that too spicy now, do you? God forbid we have something to look at if we don't have something to do. Yeah, right down to the enemy designs. We have all these greebles and shit on the scars, but we don't know what they're for. Or at least I don't. These fins seem to move, so I don't know if they're like antennae for broadcasting something, or if they're just decorative, or like what any of this is supposed to be on them. They cover their faces, so and I'm not sure if that's for protection from just impacts and injury, or if that is something to do with their respiratory system. How do they manufacture guns? What is a scar? I will say at least that is something that Destiny has up on this game, in that I can tell you who the factions are, it's just that they don't express it in the gameplay.
That's all for the scars.
Here, get up.
On a related note, another Sentinel patrol's under attack. Head to their location and see what's happening. I'm on it.
There's like one more who's having himself a sit down over here. Here, up you go. Like, I'm not even sure what it is the javelins run on, you know? What's the power source? How does this work? They mentioned something about a neural link, but is that a real thing? Is that necessary? How does that function? And these are things that you kind of have to define if you're going to bring them up. particularly in the way that they bring them up. It's, you know, these things can keep one of these machines from functioning if it's done wrong. And I don't, like, what can go wrong? What are the consequences of it going wrong? Apparently, if you panic, it can fuck itself up, but being unable to express fear in hopes that your machine doesn't just quit on you, it seems strange. Why would panic disrupt the neural link? It's just... And frankly, this is also a mark of, like, bad sci-fi when I'm asking questions like this. If I'm trying to figure out how it is that your technology works, you haven't done enough to make it seem like it would. And sometimes you have to do shockingly little for that. If, say, like, you take the Inception machine, and you just show them hooking people up to it, and mixing some sort of chemical cocktail, and then boom, we're in the dreamscape. That's kind of all it is that I need to see, is that you are doing something. And then shit happened because you did it. But those some things have to make a kind of sense. So it makes sense that there would be some sort of chemical component to keep everyone, like, fucking effectively sedated. And I can't tell you what this machine hooks up to, but it does physically join the people to some sort of device, so clearly the device is the thing doing it. You know, allowing you to share this dreamscape. And, like, boom, I'm there. I don't really need to hear anything else, particularly because the characters and the circumstances are interesting. So I'm willing to not ask those questions. Here, I don't have that to fall back on, like I had been saying, so I start asking questions, and the more questions I ask, the more shoddy this becomes. They make several mentions to seals and shit, and I'm going like, seals on what? Water seals, and then they say, oh, well, it harnesses the power of the seals to deal elemental damage. And I'm like, so seals on fucking what, though? What is this sealing? Do you mean sigil? Like there's some kind of, like, fucking special language that these things are written in that allows you to affect reality like this? Because, hey, that's, again, something that I could be like, okay, fine, sure, this is your version of magic. But you said seals, and that has a specific fucking definition. And I don't, like, how did this escape the review process, like, internally? Was there a review process, or did we all just skate and be like, nah, it's fine? Which, frankly, would be troubling. We're gonna see if coming back to Fort Tarsus helps us avoid the map going bad. Anyway, we've cooperated with Bryn. She's feeling good about that. We'll talk to her again in a moment. Because we have to do these other things in order to get parts to fucking put together a thing that'll let us go into the Heart of Rage. It doesn't actually do anything in-game. It's like encounter attunement, where you embark on this fucking, like, series of errands, and they make a big deal out of it, and then you have it, and the only thing that happens is that you can walk in the door. Same thing. Same thing here. We're gonna make a big deal about it. Oh, we're gonna build our own Javelin of Dawn. Oh, that sounds impressive. What does that mean? It means that you'll go to the last boss fight, and your Javelin will behave no differently, and have access to no improved abilities or anything like that.
Something fascinating back at the ruins. Shaper instruments. Never a dull moment.
I don't know why Faye's groaning. He's a career scientist. Of course he's excited about this. It's more of that anti-intellectual shit. The witch is dancing. Well, why are you dancing? Has something good happened that I'm unaware of? Oh, she found soap. Okay. See, I'm struggling for lifelines here. I'm just like, is something exciting? Please? Hello? Oh, she's found like quite a good deal on like a fair amount of soap. Ooh, alpine and spice scented. That sounds like a good scent. Sounds like good scent combinations. Pie, what do you think? Do you prefer something like a little more perfumey, perhaps?
Be nice for things to be simple for once.
Yeah, me neither.
Can't you let anyone have a moment?
Same. The witch and I are on the same page as far as our scent. Perfumey things are not preferable. Something that smells like something out in the world is nicer. I can't break these, I don't think. Yeah, they're not interactable. Bump. Yeah, we've recently switched to like bar soaps and bar shampoos and stuff, and it's been lasting a whole lot longer than the liquid shit, and it winds up costing us way less, so it's quite nice. Yeah, I would recommend other people do it too, because you know, fucking soap is soap, and it don't have to be a liquid, and therefore, you know, it saves you money. So keep your hygiene up, keep money in your pocket. All things are good. Yeah, also it reduces plastics. You know, well, it reduces the production and dumping of plastics, so we all gotta live here for the foreseeable future. May as well not fuck it up, right? Because, you know, hey, as much as the infinite calls, I am still stuck here for as long as the witch is. Everything after that is voluntary, though.
I think I got them all. Wonderful. It'll be much easier to continue your investigation without scorpions in your way.
Great.
They've
Scorpions.
no bodies, just goo.
Blood.
Definitely not blood.
Decomposition? Too quick. Unlikely. Perhaps the next.
The witch is suggesting that I talk about politics just for lack of anything else to talk about. I think my view on that is pretty clear. I did the Michael playthrough as a celebration. The results that are streaming in as far as the US election are no surprise to me. I find it very interesting that when we investigated Russia attempting to influence the election, we found evidence and no one wanted to say anything about that. But now that there's definitely no evidence of anything of the sort happening, there's...
Protocol specializes in that.
Oh, okay. We're going to go and meet somebody else. Anyway, someone else who has experienced this before, possibly. But anyway, you know, fucking... Now that it's the other side of the aisle, then we have to have a press conference where someone quotes QAnon conspiracy theories and like almost cries, which was an interesting response. But I mean, that's what her vocal intonations would suggest to me. I'm hearing it and I'm like, is she all right? That trembles naturally? Yeah, I suppose. I would wonder what kind of damage had been done to like instill that. Huffing pain.
Dissolving is bad news. Relax.
That's fair. That is what her theories would suggest. It just... I don't understand the draw of conspiracy theories, but then again, I am not a creature of ego. Malice, sure, but ego, no. It doesn't get you anywhere to pretend as if you are smarter, more connected than the other person. You'll have to prove that eventually, and a failure to prove that you know, it's kind of the end of the fantasy, isn't it? And me, I don't like things that are fragile that way. There's a lot about the universe that's impermanent, lost things. I don't need to add to that or to clutch those things close. You should always be prepared to lose them. And if that includes your beliefs and your moral compass, well, then you should adjust those.
Trap. Scars.
Those sentinels need your help.
Admitting you don't know is a fine thing. Investigating insanity is, well, something else entirely. And clinging to forlorn hopes is the mark of either weakness, desperation, or both. And now we're shooting bugs again. Another thing that the game really does have to justify as we go forward is why it is that the Sentinels are so much worse in every way. I still don't get that. Same machines. We also only ever really see them in Rangers, huh? We don't really see Sentinels in like a Colossus or something. You'd think we would. A certain degree of standardization is expected, but like mixed squads are a common kind of thing. Like you mix a number of units together in order to compensate for the weaknesses inherent in each, but
huge, dangerous. It's been making trouble.
They just don't. Off we go again. Pi, what do you think?
A makeshift prison camp?
I see the Arcanist.
He is busy. He's got nothing to say on this either. That's the struggle of it. It's true. Which is reminding me that this is a hell of my own design, and, well, my counterpoint to that is that there never was any hell but the one we make. Yeah, and, well, I didn't make this one, but I did choose to experience it. Cool. We got a daily challenge completed. They said it wasn't possible. They said it couldn't be done. But with faith and perseverance, we proved them wrong, didn't we? I would like to thank Jesus, of course, you know, my mom and dad for being present. Not terribly. Well, that's not fair. One of them very present, the other definitely not. Open. Open. Okay.
That's me. How did you... Matthias Sumner sent
You could just put your hand through the bars and like fucking press that button though.
to analyze this?
Where did you get this? The energies it's giving off. I can evaluate this data back at the front.
You can... Okay, but you can tell that how? Through like what? What mechanism did you scan that? They're not gonna answer. They're fucking just... They don't care. Frankly, I don't either at this point.
We have to take it down.
Sure.
Do we know what the sea scar looks like?
I'm looking at it. What do you... Fucking... What, do you know what it looks like? Yes. I can see it. I'm staring at the fucking thing. And now I'm gonna shoot it with a nuclear bazooka. Because the Federation violated the treaty. They shouldn't have built the Fizzalis.
Anything about those samples?
No, not Fizzolis, but we shouldn't have built Fizzolis either. Fizzalis. Fazoli's is a sin, and one I will partake of, I'm sure. It is definitely against, whatever deity you choose to worship, lost things, it doesn't matter. Fazoli's is an equal opportunity opposer of, any divine will. You just shouldn't be able to get fettuccine alfredo in a drive-thru. That's not how that works. Oh good, there's a combo plate, so it's okay, go on. Fettuccine alfredo and oh, and spaghetti and lasagna. Excellent. See, this is why it's a sin. It is as much a sin as Panda Express, which is not something that anyone should eat. Because that is some chicken nuggets in sweet and sour sauce. You didn't make Chinese food. So far, Pi has no opinion on the food wars. He had some opinions on seeing the witch's Animal Crossing house. He seemed quite happy for that. That's true. It's a pretty good fucking house. I can't disagree. Ah, the Yule log is ready. Those celebrations are at hand. Our performance is already starting to degrade. That's good. We gotta speak with Aruna. See what the fuck it is that she's up to, you know? See what that dusty old bitch is doing. I don't know how dusty she is. Or how much of a bitch she might be. Or how old she is. But I'm gonna pretend that she's like an unhappy mummy. No, my hopes are dashed. It would have been better if you were a dusty old bitch.
Good. You're here.
Instead you just got like a triangle lug on your head for what?
Well, they used to be Dominion.
I thought it might be something like that. Reality decay is not pretty.
Reality decay.
When a Shaper instrument taps into the anthem, it affects reality, and reality is a lot less stable than you think it is. One incorrect variable and the entire equation collapses. Reality collapses. These Dominion, whatever happened to them...
I mean, that's just not true. That's not really... So if it's...
Something wasn't right at last.
Reshaping matter, or replicating matter, it would be using ambient constituent parts, right? Like, it's doing it molecule by molecule. Perhaps even, like, subatomic particle by subatomic particle, so, like, that doesn't make sense. What you just said is stupid as fuck.
Gods, I could really use a soothing cup of tea.
I could use a fucking library card to hand you so you could brush up on this shit. Give me this.
I call slips, trips, and falls the three sisters of doom.
Well, that's... the witch is recoiling at my response to Aruna there. My general response to a lot of these stories is, how about y'all read a fucking book? Like, just try a little.
Hi, Bryn. How are you holding up?
Freelancer. Good. You remember that sixth missing sentinel? The one we couldn't find in the mines? I've discovered a weak signal. Very weak, but it could be him.
I'll track him down for you.
With earlier losses, we're short-handed and... Oh, thank you. The sentinels appreciate... I appreciate it.
Well, there we go. Bryn taking a personal stake in this. It's all good. The witch was just asking who the fuck even reads, and I told her she does. To which you responded, would you like to speak up?
I responded.
Yeah, she just said no. I've seen her do it.
So did you hear anything about that guy today?
This fucking Neeson Giles dude should really have, like, gotten the hint by now, right? That I just keep blowing past him without a second thought.
Hi there, Merelda.
Ooh, sorry. Feeling a little tired today. Insomnia. I thought it would get better with you back, but I didn't sleep a wink.
You okay?
Just thinking. I used to sketch you and imagine the conversations we'd have when you returned, Serana.
Alright, we're doing this again.
Start. How did it happen? When? How long were you out there? Were you hurt? Did the anthem bring you back?
I don't think the anthem has anything to do with this.
Of course it does. Everything in this world happens because of the anthem. They say there's even an Arcanist who was split into 3 people. Why couldn't it save you? So what did you see out there in the world?
I met people who need a little help. Got lost along the way. I'd stop to talk to them.
I knew I'd raised you right. You see someone in pain, maybe sad or down on their luck, and you lend them a hand.
I'm doing what I can.
Though it seems like you put on a few pounds since I last saw you.
Hey!
I'm your mother. I get to be honest with you. Now, you be honest with me. Why didn't you come back sooner? Why make me wait all those years?
I tried telling you before, this whole situation... You're confused. I'm not who you think I am.
You trying that again? Telling me you're not my daughter?
I'm trying to tell you the truth.
You don't think I know my own child? When you were hurt, I tried to...
Hurt? When?
There was nothing I could do. Your father and I, we... Forget it. It's nothing. The anthem brought you back, and that's all that matters. Now, I'm tired. Let's talk another time.
Hope you feel better.
The relic was silenced, but...
Well, you know, there's that.
They say he was ripped from this place, but...
What do we got here? What do we got here? Oh, is it pointing me back upward? And the marker's gone. Okay. Sure, fine. Open the damn door. Fuck's sake. Yeah, see you later, headdress. Out of the way. I can't believe we're already gonna have to restart this fucking thing. I straight cannot believe it. Are you better now? No, not really. Okay, well, you know. Here we go again. Let me send you here. Let me do this. We'll restart the program. We'll probably have to force it to terminate. The Witch and I were just playing a fuckload of Titanfall 2 as well. She picked it up finally, now that it's on sale for about $10. And, you know, a lot more going on in that game. Didn't have a problem. Anthem, problem. And I know I've said this before, it never ceases to amaze me. It's just walking around town, so I can't even begin to fucking fathom what its problem is. It starts off running just fine. Rapidly decompensates. I don't think so. I think it's gotta be not a leak, so to speak, but I don't think it cleans up after itself. So it keeps trying to access things that it doesn't need to. That's as close as I can theorize without busting it open and seeing what the fuck it's doing. But I'm not willing to expend that kind of effort on Anthem. And so we started back up. And we wait. Yeah, 40 minutes. Fucking good. Good times. Good times. Unfucking real. Great. Great, great, great. We'll give you eyes back as it loads, and we wait. And we're waiting, we're waiting. They only cause minimal damage to a javelin. This thing that fucking intercepts bullets and knives and fucking spike projectiles and all that shit. How does it cause any damage? How? What sense does that make? The answer would be, well, but it's a video game and it's got to be balanced around something, so like a small environmental hazard isn't all that big of a deal. Okay, but fine, let's go ahead and then start thinking about other things that are video game appropriate. Like, for example, why is it that the bullets don't pierce? Why do we have a cooldown thing? Because it's a video game. You should be able to just kind of like go fast and don't worry so much about reality. Why can't we shoot while flying? Because it's a video game. You should be able to shoot while flying. It's just a video game. Like, it just fucking... Selective realism is still shit, and I still wish that companies and people did not do it. At least not in such, like, easy to fucking spot cases. Anyway, let's go deal with this thing for Dax. And so we wait, and we wait, and we wait. Strongholds provide more loot. More dice to roll on that table. Because again, the only thing that these people are thinking of is how to get you continuing to log in and maybe spending more money. Not whether or not these things are rewarding at all, or whether or not these systems are something to hook someone just, you know, for the joy of repeating them. No, we're hoping that you have a gambling addiction, because the few of you that do, we can milk for a whole lot of money.
Freelancer.
We're there.
Sentinel Dax.
Dax, hope I haven't kept you waiting.
Yeah, about that. I'm not gonna make it.
I don't care.
Under a mountain of paperwork.
That's fine.
No, I can walk you through it from here.
Yeah.
Camp nearby. Head to it.
As you wish, Your Highness.
Please don't call me that.
Pi, I know. There's something wrong with people's brains where they just assume that monarchy is interesting, and, you know, there's a reason that we don't really have those anymore. It's because it's not interesting. It's not fun to live under, and, you know, claims of nobility by birthright are extremely overstated and overrated. What's interesting is a lot of those people will also talk about how it is that no one else wants the kind of meritocracy they do, but they'll then go on about all these like weird authoritarian right to rule things, and it's fucking, you know, try believing in something. Just fucking, you can't be this all over the place and expect to be taken seriously. And over we go. And then down. Even downer? Or is this where I'm going? Okay.
Alright, I'm here.
Yep. Sure am. Okay, I watched that clip through. Does it just...
A little direction, please?
Oh, sorry. Thinking.
Fuck it.
See if you can get the power back on. It'll be easy.
Those are smushable. Because these are just going to be spawn pods, right? Like, there's just going to be boys that come out of there. that's how those particular props work.
There, the generator. That should get the camp back up and running.
It's not hooked up to anything. Why isn't my flashlight on?
You know, Chapter 1 of the Freelancer Handbook doesn't mention generators.
Oh my god.
Well, Chapter 2 has entire pages on the subject.
Oh my god.
Power restored. Nice. Look around, see if they left something behind. They? Yeah.
I don't want you to have control of the flashlight because I want it to be spooky in here.
Hey, over there. Is that an archive?
Is that what we're looking for?
It could be. Won't know until I see what's on it.
Okay.
Faye, can you process the data?
I've never seen an archive so disorganized. This might take a while.
Isn't it spooky? I just won't go ahead and activate it. And I won't let you activate it. That would ruin the atmosphere. Fucking ridiculous. Like, this flashlight thing keeps popping up in a whole bunch of places where like the creator of whatever it is that's going on has no idea how to pull off horror, so they just make it dark, and they refuse to let you activate the light source that is attached to you because it's atmospheric. But if you set up an atmosphere of dread, then it doesn't matter if it happens in broad daylight or not. You also have to have something to dread. It ain't these. This is nothing. This is fodder. And you know, there comes a certain point when you should probably just admit that you're not going to scare your audience, regardless of how creepy and kooky you think you are. You're not nearly mysterious and spooky enough to frighten me while I'm in this walking tank that I've decked out with, like, mammoth tusks.
We should secure the area.
With a rocket launcher and a minigun.
Yes,
Like,
right.
I'm not afraid. I don't have any reason to be.
It's okay. I know where to go next.
I'm all ears.
The archive is transmitting a signal nearby. That must be the place.
Okay. Good, off we go. And that's even assuming that, you know, you're going to be...
Freelancer, picking up radio chatter.
Great. It's an Ursix. Anyway.
Break it up. Sounds like trouble. He's a big boy. He can take care of it.
I would hope.
Outlaw mentality right there. Outlaws? Beautiful. This is the place.
Okay.
No. Sounds like you're having trouble.
They're idiots, and not a problem. The signal's inside.
But I thought you said, aren't we looking for outlaws?
No, we're looking for a cipher link. Didn't I tell you?
No?
Oh, no wonder you were confused.
Well, now they're dead.
No way.
Well, yeah, I told you the signal's inside.
Yes, because your directions have been flawless.
Okay. No need to get shitty. Anyway, this is all this talk about horror and framing is also assuming that, you know, the player is in it to be scared, and they're not someone like me who's going, okay, fine, elicit a fear response, come at me, and it just doesn't wind up happening because, you know, some folks are just hard to rattle.
I thought we
What's
were
up?
trying to solve the mystery of people vanishing in the Emerald Abyss.
We are.
Then why am I in a creepy cave looking for a cipher?
Lord Zeno, hey dude, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, no, I'm still just stuck doing this.
It has intel on it.
We're getting there.
Important intel. Dex, look, if I had...
Otherwise, things are alright. How's things on your end? Down we go, into this hole. Hole boys for life, still, forever and always. More bits. Yes, please.
Found what was bothering the outlaws.
Oh, word. Well, glad to see, well, hear, rather, that things are doing alright. You know, all things considered. We got outlaws, we got an Ursix, it's the same as it ever was. Today has had its ups and downs. Yeah, well, fucking... Hopefully the downs are not too low and the ups are a little bit more frequent than not.
Are we closing in on the signal?
I think so. It's on the move.
We're closing in on the signal.
Possible the Ursix ate the link?
Yeah, probably.
Swear to God if I have to dig through poop.
Okay, number 1, feces is the professional term. And number 2, they said it's moving. What kind of weird shit do you have?
Ha 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 ha. Fuck off. Gimme. Yes. One big down and a few smaller ups. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Fucking... We've all had days like that. It's never something that, you know, anyone genuinely wishes on another person, I don't think.
The beats. Sorry. Couldn't resist.
Okay. Dax is having fun, at least. She may be the only one here that is. Oh, there was another one. Sure. Fucker. Yeah, it's fine. Sure, stand in that one instead. That works out for me. Uh-huh. And we're done again. Did I do it? Do you have a third?
Ursix on Ursix. Get it? Ursix? Your 6?
Oh my god.
Signal's pointing to her, by the way.
Of course it is!
There we go. If you hit him in the head with the explosive, it does more damage because that makes sense. Give me this stuff. It's mine now.
Well, the link. And you didn't even have to dig through poop. I mean, feces.
Lucky me.
I can't help you if you're gonna be picky. I'll analyze links into...
What would it matter? I'm in this.
Beautiful. We can discuss back and forth Tarsus.
It's fucking air and water tight. Like, we're fine. I can't even feel it. These are robot hands. Just fucking hose it off when we get back to base. It's whatever. More loading screens. Yes, please. On heart shots, yeah, there are a lot of places that you can put a bullet that fucking ends a fight. Aiming center mass is generally a good idea because there's a whole lot of important shit in there. They also don't consider things like taking a shot to the pelvis, which is part of specific fucking training that I went through for another job and another time. But basically, if you've cracked the pelvis, the person don't walk, and this is going to apply to anything that's human shaped. There's probably going to be a hip structure that keeps them upright. And well, I mean, that is oftentimes the whole sort of torso column is much easier to hit than a limb or a head. So I would have liked to have seen something like that too. Yes, please. For the spine, I can understand why they wouldn't put that in as far as like a damaged place. The thing about the torso in general is that it's also relatively easy to armor compared to like anything else that you'd want to put armor on, because it's largely these flat-ish planes, and it doesn't move as much as you think it does. Like, don't get me wrong, there's flex there, but it's not a ton. So first you would have to defeat the armor in order to get the bullet in to begin with, in order to strike the spine, so sure. But, odds are much better that you're going to, you know, puncture a lung or hit the pelvis. It's a much wider target. Oh, I have a mouse and... There we go, we fixed it. That was fun. That's a bug we haven't gotten yet. Anyway, odds are good that you're going to strike the pelvis or one of the many vital organs in the torso before you get to the spine. Even if you're shooting something in the back, you're probably going to... like, they'll die of the organ damage first, and complications with a spinal injury second or never. That being said, there's a lot that goes wrong with bullets. Like they don't do the over penetration thing for fast moving rounds, and fucking ammo counts for absolutely everything are bonkers. Like, why is this a single shot? I can see the magazine on it. You see the picture there, and you can see on the fucking gun there's the magazine right there in front of the grip and the trigger. The grip, which by the way has a roll cage around it, that there's no way that this is fitting in, but whatever. But there's a magazine, and it's fucking like I have to reload every time I fire it. Here, bang, reloading, and then they change the magazine and work the bolt, not just work the bolt, and like fucking. I'm quoting a McElroy again, but if they could just use their fucking brain for a second, that would be preferable. Yes, please. Yeah, one bullet per fucking magazine, exactly. Like, if it's going to be a single shot, then we need to redesign the gun. It should probably be an elbow break or a trapdoor if you want to get real antiquated and weird. But like it just fucking I want them to try and they just won't. I think that's the title of this series. I wanted them to try and they just didn't. That's alright. We'll be done with this at some point, and then it's time for Titanfall 2, which will be much breezier, much shorter, but a whole lot more fun. Even though, like, our lead character, Cooper, is kind of fucking boring, but if boring is the worst thing that I can say about him, he's doing alright. He is another Matt Mercer voiced dude. The mechanics will more than fill in the gaps for shit to talk about, and frankly the setting is something that I would very much like to see more of. We can have a boring lead character if I can do cool shit with them, you know what I mean? Alright. We're here, we're doing things. Bump. Yes, please. On Titanfall 3, I would very much like to see that. I hope that they do it. I hope that they consider
Hives everywhere.
a wider and deeper experience for Titanfall, and I feel like that's...
They must be hiding them. Take out those hives.
That's become the greatest praise that I can give something, or that I have given something, rather. I may, in fact, come up with greater praise for something that fucking, like, truly knocks my socks off. But that I want both more depth out of the system, as well as more places to utilize those systems, is good. That's what you want out of your audience. They should want more of this, and Titanfall does leave me wanting more of it, but not for lack of something being there. Just that, you know, I'm enjoying it, and I would like seconds and thirds in this case. Yeah, a 3 would be cool. I would hope that they just get real fucking real nasty with all the shit that you can tweak and all the places you can go. They probably won't. Apex Legends makes more money, and is easier to develop for.
That's the last hive. Now for the scars.
I still remember when people came out there and fucking just saying, oh, well, Apex is the new thing and it's built in the Titanfall universe, and then for a while the Mozambique was, had achieved, like, mimetic status. And I'm sitting there having played Titanfall 2, like, close to its launch, going, the Mozambique was always shit, why did you pick it up? It's a very much a moment or two of feeling my age in comparison to people that had just dropped into things. That's another discussion, though. I don't know that feeling your age is a bad thing. Knowing that you've had different experiences, broader experiences, and deeper ones, and all that shit, is nothing to be ashamed of. I know a lot of people are sensitive about the topic of age, and I never quite understood that.
I'll clear them out.
Yes, please. Oh, my friend, I'm sorry to inform you. The comment was, if there's one title they don't want to fall to greedy companies, it's Titanfall. That is what Apex Legends is. It is a battle royale set in the Titanfall universe, with the sole intent on cashing in on a trend and making money. That's it. It is a battle royale and hero shooter in one. Guess what was popular in the market? Buy skins. Bully your friends into buying skins. What do you got, a default? You fucking plebe. Yes, please. Not considering Apex Legends part of Titanfall. I can understand that that mindset, but the unfortunate reality is that it is. I would very much like to disavow it entirely, but it's Respawn. It's in the Titanfall universe, you know? They done came out and said them words, and I wish they hadn't, but here we are. The problem there is always that, like, of course you don't want your favorite things to be tarnished in any way, but it's inevitable, and it's fine. They can't take away the memories that you already have or the experiences that are still available. But that is what it is. And every fucking game company is going to be this way until some sort of, like, positively massive shift culturally or legally happens.
Sentinels are on their way to pick Andron up, Freelancer.
Shockingly unspoiled. Oh, they're feeding him.
I will, Andron. Help is on the way.
Well, I guess, you know, if they're planning on selling this dude, then the damaged product is no good. It makes sense. Yeah, what did we experience that with recently? That's like super forward in the kind of pop culture zeitgeist. Star Wars, you know, people going, "Oh, this is not my Star Wars," even though Force Awakens is largely the same movie as A New Hope. The other two I don't make excuses for. What the fuck was the middle chapter?
Can you track that Iskar?
I forget. But it's a movie that looked pretty and toyed with some fun ideas, but didn't really do anything with them.
Plans for the fort.
Oh, The Force Awakens? No. No, it was not The Force Awakens. It was, The Force Awakens was the first one, wasn't it? Yeah. The second one. And then the third one was just word salad. J.J. Abrams fucking sucks. And a lot of it was backpedaling to appease an incredibly noisy and incredibly immature fan base. Claims that a character is a, quote, Mary Sue when they are identical in capability and story arc to a previous character that did not get the same things leveled at it is fucking nuts. Yes, please. Okay, the middle one is The Last Jedi, the last one is The Rise of the Skywalker. These are bad titles. The Force continues sleeping. Yeah, I kind of wish it would.
What's its long game?
Ask it.
Are you serious?
Sure.
They also fucking... So the problem with Star Wars is that it's an incredibly small universe. There's nowhere to go and nothing to say and nobody to meet. And everything being as loosely defined as it is means that there's nothing to explore. What can the Force do? Anything. Okay. So goodbye then. You know, what are these civilizations doing with the Force? Nothing. Excellent. Excellent, 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 excellent. Good. You'd figure something like this would be life-changing, and then also, like, everyone keeps reverting to this idea that, oh, but it's a legend, but they worked for the fucking Senate not that long ago.
Think it sees me.
It comes from the metal walls.
Yes, please.
It's itself in the fort.
Ask what it wants. Try the plan. What?
You enjoyed The Mandalorian. I haven't seen it. I didn't fucking see the point. I'm glad people are enjoying it, though.
Alright, maybe down without Relic was ranting about. We'll find it. Together.
Word. Yes, a lot of folks think it's a solid show so far. I'm glad you're one of them. It just... I don't know, I didn't ever think the Mandalorians were all that fucking cool. Like, fucking Bubba Fett's in the first one. Whatever, he was there, he was another jackass in a helmet, and yeah, I know his name's Boba Fett, I'm being a dick. Bubba Fett's. But, you know, he was some other dickhead in a helmet, and he nodded a few times, and that was it. And then later, he fell in a mouth hole. The end. Yes, please. I mean, that's cool. Fucking... So, the comment was, for one thing, the main character doesn't have the Force. I'm not against the main character having the Force. That's fine and dandy. It's just that nobody does anything interesting with that. There's not... Like, the journey to master the Force is never one of self-discovery, and there is no personality expressed in this kind of, like, fucking thing that you could express any number of aspects of yourself in. They just float things or throw things, and if you're a bad guy, you can shoot lightning bolts. And it's like, well, what if they're not a bad guy? What if they just have strong emotions and can shoot lightning bolts and they mean well? What then? But that's not a thing. That's not a thought that crosses anyone's minds. If you shoot lightning bolts out of your fingers, you're the devil. The only one who's having fun in that... Oh, okay, great, thanks.
At her apartment.
Stellar. I'll get there. The only one who's having fun with anything that they're doing is fucking Papa Palpatine, and we should just have movies about him if we're gonna... If anyone wants to pull anything out of any of this. I gotta talk to Matthias, that's right. All three of him.
You're back. That is you, isn't it? I can't quite focus my eyeballs.
Where's Sumner? And where's the manifold?
He was impatient. He wanted to pursue his own theory.
He took it and pushed it. Not hard, but...
More on the Mandalorians in the animated series in a moment.
Soldiers were affected by some kind of reality decay as a result of their divide.
Reality shifting in unintended ways. As a result, they were...
wobbly. Jelly that didn't quite set. Oh. That explains why I'm feeling oddly... porous. It's not a great feeling. And none of my limbs work right.
We need Sumner back.
and the manifold. The generator of the effect must be part of the solution.
Do you know where he went?
He talked about needing a drink. Maybe the bar?
It's start. How long do I have?
I smell burnt toast.
Not long. Please hurry.
Yeah, that's a stroke. Anyway, so, you know, there's claims that what I'm seeing there is that the Mandalorians are badass in other media. I've seen bits and pieces of the Clone Wars, and it just didn't grab my attention. And like, sure, fine, but they're badass in a way that doesn't exist. I've gone on about some of these things before, in that these are supposed to be like what, warrior, almost ascetics. They're not quite monks. There's a religious aspect to it, but warfare is integral to their culture, and they don't know how to fucking fight. You don't dual wield pistols. You don't. It's not practical. You're not going to hit anything with that. And you'd figure that a company of Mandalorians and a culture of Mandalorians would be concerned with winning. But, you know, here we are. Yes, please.
I don't see Summer anywhere, but there's Aruna.
Oh, yeah, 4 kids is... I don't let it slide there. Something can be 4 kids and still make sense. You know, the thing about telling stories for kids and doing it in this way is that we are all informed by the stories we take in. Our views of the world are shaped by them. So there's a lot wrong with misrepresenting violence and what it is. And I'm not just talking about technique, I'm talking about like the genuine cost of harming another human being. Or another alien being, as it is in the case in Star Wars. So, you know, like, I am for violence in stories, absolutely. I think it is part of the experience of being alive. I want it done right.
Ah, freelancer. Let me guess. Looking for Matthias?
Yes, one of them.
He wanted a drink but wasn't allowed in. He's been banned from the premises for months.
Great. So he's gone now.
I tried to talk to him about the samples you found, but he didn't seem interested. He was always easily distracted, but never rude. It was odd.
It's complicated. That one, Sumner, appears to be the abrasive side of Matthias.
We should find him. I don't know how quickly the reality decay could set in.
Got it.
We gotta find him.
What now?
Oh, you meant it sarcastically. Oh, that's cool. I mean, you know, still a solid spot to just offer discussions on. It's
by the forge.
I don't know why it is you would do that with your kind of warrior caste elite, and I don't know why it is that it gets perpetuated. That being said, I like the looks of a lot of the things that they've produced, and that they're based on actual guns. That's cool. I'm glad to see that. You know, people say that, oh, but a science fiction blaster should look like a science fiction blaster. And I say, well, okay, point to your hand. Does anything in that universe have a digit assemblage resembling this? And they go, well, yes, of course they have hands. There's people there. Cool. Well, then you're going to get things shaped very similarly to guns that we're familiar with. Because that's what they're designed for, to fit these grippers.
Freelancer. Great timing. I've been thinking about Shaper relics.
Where is this?
Pi, she's been thinking about Shaper relics. She has.
Keeps activating relics. Or reactivating them.
Shaper relics.
We really need more experienced Lancers keeping them in check.
Should I just warm up my javelin now?
Well, if you have time to stop the Shaper menace.
Okay. I don't know why that exchange was necessary either. Just be like, oh yeah, cool, understood. Let me go ahead and get ready. Because, like, yes, that, again, that's your job. That's what we got going on there with Prin. It's kind of a standing contract to fill in. I'm in your house. I walked in uninvited and unannounced. There's Dax.
Okay, please don't hate me, but that link, the one you
got elbow deep in Ursix for?
More like wrist deep, but yeah. It didn't have all the intel I needed.
Again? But you said...
I know. I messed up. Remember my aunt's journal?
The one that proves there's a connection between the Heart of Rage and the Emerald Abyss?
Yeah. It was stolen.
What? When?
Like, 2 months ago.
Why didn't you say so?
Because I thought we could steal the information back without facing the thieves head on.
The outlaws in the cave. They're the ones who took the journal.
Sort of. They work for the guy who took it. A jerk named Talon.
How did this happen?
Minor details. What's done is done. We just gotta keep moving forward.
Okay. What's our...
You know, there's... when they're...
Talon and steal back the journal.
And you'll show...
done saying things.
You sound so flaky. Of course
We'll talk a moment about what's going on here. Okay, cool. So, Dax appears to be wearing a kind of soft body armor, which makes sense given that she's a cop. A princess cop, if you will. And I want to just real briefly bring this up, is that a whole lot of extremely sad nerds think that tit plate is appropriate and reasonable and may in fact offer advantages. They're wrong and stupid in a whole lot of ways, chiefly in this. In order to accommodate someone's bust for comfort, sure, you can have allowances, but a lot of what that means is it's going to need extra fabric and extra kind of wraparound protection. It does not mean an individual cup for each breast. This is a better strike face because it does what it's supposed to do if a round impacts it. It catches it, it deforms, and it tugs from the rest of the stuff around it. If you separate these things along a seam line, it's going to tug and tear at that seam line and not, you know, at the rest of the garment. The same thing can be said for hard materials. If we put a crease here, what's going to happen is that blows that would otherwise glance off and be deflected are going to sink towards the center and put pressure on the sternum. You don't want to take hits to your sternum. In fact, if this were hard, this line right here should be protrusive. And protrusive means that it should stick out. This is called a robin breast pattern, and it allows blows and projectiles to glance off to the side. That's what you want. Did you have something, darling? Yes, please. Yeah, hit me. $40K, as well as Dax being, like, not unhappy, like, just being kind of, like, cool about it. Yeah, you'd think so, right? You'd think she'd be like, man, motherfucker, this, I thought this would have everything, and it doesn't, so we gotta go back out there. But, whatever. On 40K, the guns are better. They're still not quite, like... So, the problem with 40K guns is that they are overcomplicated. The bolter is basically a repeating rocket launcher, and it's smooth bore to boot, which is fine if the bolt had stabilizing fins, but it don't. We've done experiments with stuff like the bolter. There are grenade rounds for the AA-12 that were developed, and they're pretty cool to watch, but they have fins, you know, to stabilize the projectile. Anyway, about the only thing that makes sense about a whole lot of 40K guns is that they are based on actual guns. Not necessarily how they function. Like, the bolt round is supposed to penetrate and then explode, which is a fine idea, but if you're packing a hollow cavity that has explosives, you're reducing round mass, which is going to fuck up its penetrative capability, and you're going to deal surface damage. On aliens looking like aliens, yeah, sure, there's no mistaking an orc for a dude. The Eldar, you know, being space elves is fine. The Tau, again, you will not mistake that for a normal guy. The fucking blue-hooved fish face people. Nope, that's definitely an alien from another planet. So yeah, I'd say they're a solid example of how to do hominids without just doing a dude.
How are you?
We got this lady. She still thinks we're her daughter.
Father's ashes so we could spread them. They weren't there.
Doesn't mean we still can't have a memorial for him.
No, the vase wasn't there. And it's strange, now that I'm trying to remember some things you've said. I wonder, I don't know if the vase was ever there. I'm not sure what's happening anymore.
That's because your memory is playing tricks on you.
Why would it do that?
To protect you from painful things that happened.
Like what?
Why is the vase important?
Your dad, of course. He died. But I already knew that.
How did he die?
You were hurt. And?
I was? How? This is important.
No. I don't want to remember that day.
You've been in denial. Remembering what happened is the only way to get past this.
The truth almost killed me.
Except it didn't. You're still here. You're strong. What happened?
It was a warm day. Freemark was hot that time of year. You were playing with your father, pretending you were a javelin pilot. He was roaring like an Ur-6, chasing you. You were so young. Your little legs scampering around, so happy. But then...
It's okay.
The sirens started. Gunfire was everywhere. Someone shouted, "The Dominion are here." Then the explosions. I heard you scream. Ran over. Your father was bleeding, but you were under the rubble. Piles of concrete. I tried lifting it, but it was too heavy. You were yelling, "Daddy's hurt. Help Daddy." I pulled him away. Then there was another explosion. The rubble collapsed. But you
can do this.
You died. My brave little girl. You were supposed to grow up and be a freelancer, fall in love, become a woman, but you never did. Because I couldn't save you. Can you ever forgive me?
It's better if you forgive yourself.
How can I? Your father. He died the next day. They took him away. I never got to bury him. Or you.
None of it was your fault.
But I loved them. So much.
They wouldn't want you to blame yourself. They'd want you to be happy again. Can you do that?
I think so. Yes. But you're not Serana, are you?
No. Just a friend trying to help.
Well, I'd be proud to be your mother. What you've done for me. I spent 10 years waiting for someone who would never come. You saved me.
I just gave you a little nudge. You saved yourself.
My thanks could never be enough, but... Thank you.
Be well. Take care of yourself.
Okay, and so ends one of the only fucking stories here that actually goes anywhere. Imagine how much more impactful this would be if they weren't doing the thing like, oh, she's mistaken you for the child, and she was, like, maybe just a fucking... Like, she was just a beggar sitting here. And you could simply hear what happened. And maybe, like, donate things to get her back on her feet and on her way. You know, just tell the human story without the soap opera theatrics. Anyway, on comments, the witch was reading a few of them to me as we were listening to that. The Tyranid being unique. I mean, they're xenomorphs from Alien, but that's...
Sumner was here. I don't see him.
No?
That's fine. They're...
Let me check the phone.
They work.
Looks like he took a javelin. Can he do that? Can he even operate one?
Not well, I imagine.
He has likely left the fort by now. You should go after him when you can.
Okay, I will. Sure. They're, you know... my complaint with them is that they're another horde sort of thing that we don't particularly need in the setting. Like, the orcs are a horde, and the Necrons are a horde, and fucking Tyranid are a horde, and just, you know, the demons are a horde, and everything's a fucking horde, and just shut the fuck up. They gotta come up with something better, something different. Like, there's nothing that the Tyranids are that isn't something you can replicate with the existing Chaos Demons faction. And like, okay, but wait. What would be more interesting is just like a straight up technological superior. Like the Tau are comparable for being as young as they are as a species, and that's what put the Imperium off balance, and the Eldar took a long time to get anything done, but their technology is not all that much more advanced than the Imperium's, and the Necrons are supposed to be super advanced as well as being an endless horde, but again, you can still shoot it with a bolter and kill it, so it doesn't, for all of how advanced they're supposed to be, it doesn't really translate that way. Something that would make the Imperium rethink its ancient-ass designs would be more interesting, and I don't mean like, you know, the resurrection of a Primarch who looks around and goes, "I'm sorry, what the fuck have you been doing?" Which is what I anticipated happening at some point in the storyline, and I'm glad that they had the balls to do it. With Gilliman coming back and being like, "You've really bungled this." But, you know, point being is that the galaxy is enormous, and you'd think that somewhere out there someone would be like, "Is that a chemical projectile? Adorable. Do you want to, like, try harder than that, or did you just not think to do it, you stupid fucking monkeys?" Oh, that being said, the fucking laser gun is a waste of energy. In order to project a beam that focused and not have it just fall apart due to thermal blooming and actually manage to, like, destroy matter, you could have spent that energy throwing, like, just a flechette really fast and ended up doing way more damage. I know, Pi. I know. It's a standby of the fucking series, you know. The Imperial Guard is they're out there, and their equipment's supposed to be bad, I guess. Cool. Well, now there's those. Those balls of lightning fucking serve as just environmental hazards while we're doing this specific pickup things mission. And is wherever you pick up these glow balls is where it is it'll do that. They prohibit you from flying, they'll like instantly overheat your jets, and they do a small amount of damage. But you can do this with them. They'll just reappear, but, you know. Where? You're telling me it's in a million places. Okay. They meant there. So that's fun. This fucking hot and cold thing sucks. Because it's saying up and that way, but I don't see a single fucking thing. And we need one more, so this is gonna be a blast. How up? Now it's saying down. Now it's not saying down. Now it's down again. We were apparently right on top of it right here. Was it... did I get it? Was it in a tree? It was in a tree. Don't fucking have them spawn in the tree where you can't see them. Just set a height limit to where it is they can spawn.
And that's them. Good going. Guess what? There's more.
Well, there's more.
Skating and soldiers. Bet they're after more Shaper relics. Yeah, go show them how bad an idea that is.
You got it.
Sure. So the trek continues. Give me this. Because it's building towards some kind of fucking achievement, right? We won't get there by the time that I'm done with this story archive. It just won't happen. Yeah. Sick. Well, give me that. And they're doing this again, because of course they are.
There's the gate. Blow up the anchors and the Dominion's done here.
Uh-huh. There we go. Well, he dove out of the way, but we're just about done all the same. Well, it doesn't seem to be spitting out anything, so I'm just gonna continue on my way. Boop. Oh, these are elites. You gotta look out. Apparently fireproof. Good to know, I guess.
Right. Now take out those active hostiles.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Oh, okay.
You have another issue, Freelancer. The Dominion spy's trying to get away with the stolen Shaper fragment. Make sure they don't.
Shaper fragments again. Aren't those supposed to be like fucking contained in special things? Can you just pick them up? That's another thing. I'm not entirely certain how it is that their fucking like ancient magic technology is supposed to work or what shape it's supposed to take. Like, you know, in Star Wars I know what a holocron is. And I know that it's treated with reverence, but it's a fucking, like, it's an encyclopedia, you know? It's got information on it. I know what it is and what it does. I don't know what the fuck a Shaper fragment is supposed to be, or how it's supposed to work, or why that would be valuable.
No sign of the spy. Typical. See if you can find any clues on where they went.
I'll check it out.
Okay, as soon as it points me at something, that would be good.
Nothing helpful in the crate.
Cool. And then what? So it's gotta be something on the periphery of this tent. Yeah, there we go.
Here's something.
I see a note about Dominion sightings inside the tent. Head in that direction. Maybe the spy fled there.
Okay. Sure.
There's the Dominion. Defeat enough soldiers and you'll force their spy to show themselves.
Why would that be the way it works? Why wouldn't they just, like, fuck right off? How does this keep happening in stories as well? You know, you kill enough of them and you'll draw out the guy that's supposed to be escaping with the super valuable thing, because they just can't abide their buddies getting killed, and it's like, that's specifically the mission, though. That is what we are here doing. You must get that back. That's fine. The Furies are those big arm things that we saw before. They're like one of the few, like, recognizable critters in this. They're also not as big of a deal as we've been led to believe. We shoot these glow spots and we dissolve that, and then we dissolve the Fury itself. It's not, like, there it goes. You would think that they would be much more frightening in their capabilities based on how it is that they're depicted in cutscenes, but such is not the case. And a lot of that has to do with cutscenes being just kind of lawless. Why did it fling it all the way the fuck over here? Give me this.
That's all finished.
Where, you know, you'll see stuff happen in a cutscene that you can't do in-game or wouldn't happen in-game because no one knows what their setting is supposed to be, and they say, well, you should just accept that dissonance, and I say you should stop being so fucking lazy. Another stretch. This is not to say that the enemy shouldn't be made harder, but more to say that, You gotta understand your setting before you decide what goes on in the cinematics, because the cinematics are there to fill in the blanks and frame the setting. If the Furies are supposed to be this sort of grand threat, then there needs to be a special way to deal with them. And if they're not going to have that special way to deal with them, well, then you can't frame them as a grand threat in your cinematics. That's just how it is, Pi. It is. We've unlocked something. Oh, another component slot. Excellent. Well, let's plug something into that, right? Get rid of this trash. Back to Fort Tarsus. Okay. Oh, I see. The witch has picked up some things. Well, we'll talk about that later. Because otherwise I'm going to have to get up out of this chair. And if I get up out of this chair, I will attempt to run away from Anthem as fast and as far as I can. I won't have any real control over it. It'll just be reflex. Again, not because it fucking broke into my house and beat the shit out of everyone I know and love and shot my dog and absconded into the woods with my greatest treasures. Or whatever it is that kids are claiming that video games do these days. You know, I'm not sitting here on a couch and being like, this game is diarrhea dookie. So, but it's because it's just fucking... It's so bland. And for something that should have something going on, they just don't. Oh, we didn't check to see Prospero. We didn't check to see what it is that you're selling. What kind of bullshit you're peddling today. What are you peddling? Yeah, that's right. Look away. Coward. Fucking yikes. Look at this. What? Who the fuck would paint their javelin like this? Yeah. That's terrible. How does this even look? Iridescent. Okay. Great. You're a shyster. This is trash. Oh, do you have more to say? Are you gonna, like, move in somewhere?
Freelancer? Don't worry, I know who you are.
How are you doing?
Much better. All thanks to you.
Couldn't leave you to suffer like that.
You were everything I'd hoped Serrano would grow up to be.
I'm flattered.
It's true. It was hard letting go.
Serrano sounded like a great kid. You'll always have memories of the good times.
There were plenty of those.
You're feeling better?
A lot of crying. But mostly a lot of laughing. I looked at paintings I made of her. She was something special.
Must feel like a weight is lifted?
More like a boulder. This is my last day here. I'm moving to Antium to be with my sister.
Fresh air, fresh start.
That's the plan. Hope to start painting again too.
So this is goodbye?
I think it is. Not that I didn't enjoy your company, but time to move on. Goodbye, freelancer.
Take care.
How are you feeling?
Okay then, cool. She's moving in with family and isn't going to live on this stoop anymore.
That's good to know. We used to wait weeks for things to ship from.
Now we're down here and look, oh boy, they got banners hung up and oh, there's displays and they moved all the shit out of the way and isn't that crazy? This is fine to do. Like to have a space evolve over your time and kind of like get cleaned up and straightened out and all that. That's okay. But you know, this is putting the cart before the horse. First I have to care about these people, then I have to see what it is that they're doing, and then I'll make a decision as to whether or not I want to improve this place. And why the fuck are we using this? Like this... Just in case they forgot. Just in case them and everyone else forgot. You get those open, yeah. This is a world where this thing exists? And are you gonna sit there and tell me that we don't have a better way of communicating than some fucking scrolls? Like, there's no way that a machine with these kinds of tolerances, and I say tolerances when I'm talking about the fitment of pieces, exists without some kind of computer to assist you doing it. You don't do this by hand. You just don't. It would never fucking work. It's too precise. Anyway, I think we got time for one more, and then that will be our sentence with Anthem for the evening. Then I'll be free for a moment, and you'll be free for a moment, and won't that be nice? Yeah, that is the pro tip. The witch has given a hint at what is going to happen for the rest of the evening. Probably Titanfall. Titanfall 2. What do you think, Pi? Yeah, she's trying out the Monarch, seeing how she likes it. Yeah. Might go around with that this time. I had misjudged the Scorch. I didn't really care for it back when I was playing more regularly. This time it has fit me like a glove. Quite happy with the Scorch. Okay, we've landed. Let's see if it holds out.
For Talon's crew.
How'd you get your hands on those?
I thought it better not to ask.
Plausible deniability.
Exactly. I've marked a potential ambush site.
I mean, why does she have to even, like, hide this stuff? She should probably just be able to make those requests, right? Given her position in society. But there I go doing that thing where I'm trying to make sense of a setting and characters and their place within it again. Fucking... It's not the arena for that. Not the arena for that at all. In fact, nerds seem to actively hate it. God, it's just not doing it, is it? We may give it one more reset. Because yeah, let's just cut our losses and do that. We'll give it one more reset and then we'll call it. We'll send you where we send you. We'll have a look at what it's doing, knowing full well what it's doing. Sitting there, twiddling its thumbs. So that I have to do this. Fucking banish it manually. Unreal. Okay, and this time I will be right back, and then we'll get to it, we'll help Dax, and that'll be that. Alright, we're back. We are just about ready to jump into the last bit of this. And then we'll leave the rest for later. I did want to check something real quick. Just to see. You know, provided this shouldn't fucking... There we go. Ba 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 ba. Tyranids were mentioned in the 1987 rulebook. Okay, and Alien was released when? 1979. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I was just double checking myself to make sure that I wasn't, you know, speaking out of turn. Yeah, first Alien, and of course first H.R. Giger. Either way, I've heard it pronounced both. And you know, never met the guy. Don't know it from his own mouth. But anyway, did his drawings of penis monsters, and then eventually that became the Xenomorph as we understand it, and later on, Games Workshop said, oh sick, I'll do that. And so, the Tyranids. And then after the Tyranids, the Zerg. But this is because Blizzard had a contract that got yanked with Games Workshop. They were to produce Warhammer stuff. That's why Warcraft exists. And shortly thereafter, StarCraft. You know, obvious parallels being obvious, and they just kind of went in and made them legally distinct. Not that it's not its own thing now, but you can definitely trace the lineage. Alright. We'll give you eyes back. We'll make sure that's working. And we're good to go. Okay. In we go to do the last bit of this. We gotta find Dax's journal that got stolen a couple of months ago. And we gotta wait. Okay. There we go. And let's see. Yep. Working much better. So you just fucking restart the game. And that works because not enough time passes for temperatures to drop. And like I said, I monitor the heat on this. So it's not above operating temperature. So who knows? Who knows? Alright. Diary. Yes. Yes. Do. Yeah, that's a Fury up close, but we've seen them in cutscenes as well. I'm not sure what they're supposed to be, you know? Like, what is that exactly? Why is that? Were the resources consumed in making it actually spent well? Doesn't seem to be. And I also can't imagine that's faster to produce than it is to just, like, train and equip a soldier with similar gear. Okay.
Dax provided Strider routes for Talon's crew.
We know all about that.
Better not to ask.
Plausible deniability.
Exactly. I've marked a potential ambush site.
And away we go. Still pretty vistas. That looks nice. With the, you know, the fog kind of covering the mountains and everything, light cascading through it. Real pretty. And we'll skim this. And we'll skim that. Not low enough for that one, but oh well.
Coming up on the Strider. Where's Dax?
Because, you know, we're there.
Dax, are you in position?
Yeah, about that.
Seriously.
I got stuck with patrol duty. I'm not a freelancer. I can't just tell the commander to shove off.
All right. Just stand by for support.
And there we are.
Scars.
And there we are.
Talon's a popular guy.
A bump there. A SWAT there. I wish they didn't do this thing where it sets a fire on a line. It really should just be like a big old burning patch, shouldn't it? I don't know why they felt the rectangle was better. It's a confusing decision.
I don't see him. These guys are all scrub league. This is all my fault.
What do you mean?
Nothing. Check the Strider. Maybe it'll have another lead.
Okay. Touch.
Huh. What's this?
Looks like a bunch of random lines.
They're not random. It's a map.
What? How?
My patrol's nearby. I'll explain in person.
In person? Really?
Just bring it to me.
Fucking last chapter of his book. Guy laughs at danger, but something. We'll never know who. He did go back to selling trinkets, though. It's another trope that I want gone. Oh, they're just so brave. They laugh at danger. They crave it, in fact. That's how adventurous they are. And it's like, well, but people who do that don't last long. They tend to die because they're stupid. Again, where is the person for whom this is a job? It is...
That looks like squiggles to me.
They're professional. That's Dax in there, by the way.
How do you know this?
Where's the person for whom this is a job, and they plan things carefully and execute them just as carefully. They weigh risks and pros and cons and fucking...
Is there one nearby?
People say they make it look easy when you know, from having played it, that it's not, but it looks that way because you have adequately prepared. They don't see the groundwork that goes into it, they just see the finished product. The Witcher does a good job of that. At least the first one does. The others you can kind of action game your way through it, but the first game, if you have mixed the right potions and set your trap accordingly, then it can look very easy. It ain't though. Didn't get that far into 3 before I went, I don't fucking care, and then I left. 2 was quite good though.
Took care of the hard part. Now, you just gotta find a way inside without it killing you.
Yeah, I got it. It's fine. Check this out. See? And then we got out of the way. And it was fine. Light your arms up again. That was apparently enough to stun him, by the way. Cool. Cool. Well, he's doing that thing now. You know what? Here. I got a cool trick I can pull too, bud. How you like them apples?
The overlay. It will. I have a good feeling. Oh, that makes me feel so much better.
What? It's fine. It's done. We've done it. Hi. You celebrating? Are you impressed?
Battery's fried. Check the wreckage for a replacement.
Should be
Okay.
easier now that the Titan's off your back.
I mean, yeah, I guess. There, I've plugged the battery in and now I gotta slap these things.
It's still not working.
Power flow needs a full reset. Titan really did a number on her when it attacked.
Yeah, it turned off both the things. Touch. And now we have to turn on the other thing. You gotta put a new battery in and flip both the breakers.
That did it.
We did it.
Should open now.
Yes, okay. Get the overlay.
Okay. Hello. All of this fucking, like,
I think this is it.
artifice, and then we got like 5 boxes.
Dax was right.
If it happens again, she'll catch up with a broken clock.
Hey, I can hear you.
Marking Talon's base.
Got it. On my way.
Alright.
What about your patrol?
They'll be fine.
I mean, that's alarmingly irresponsible. No, again, that's the kind of shit that endangers lives. That's not a cool thing to do, Dax. But we, the audience, are supposed to go, oh, isn't that cute? I don't find it cute.
Dax, I'm coming up on the camp. Where are you?
Are they who they say they are or not?
Start without me.
Yeah, again, that's not cute. If you start first without all of your assets in place, then, I mean, like, you run the risk of fucking dying because your backup was not present.
Look who decided to show up!
Uh-huh.
Never would have guessed. Where's Talon?
Howard barricaded himself inside.
We'll have to take out the camp's defenses to reach him. Focus on...
Yeah, I got it. very concerned with how it is that Dax knows these people, but clearly she does. I don't know why we would be concerned with that. Oh, we forgot to plug in our other thing too. We'll do that next time. It's not that it matters.
Hey, that's far enough.
No one has to get hurt. Whoa, 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 whoa. All we want is that journal.
I know. Talon gave me one job. Make sure you don't get it.
Did Talon give you permission to burn it?
No. Maybe. Shut up!
Okay. Why does Talon even want that journal?
Because it's a treasure map. All those missing people carried valuables into the jungle. And when I find them, I'll be rich. You shouldn't have chased me, Dex.
You shouldn't have robbed me, Talon.
It's what I do. You knew that when you hired me.
You hired these people? That's how they got your journal?
It's hard to do background checks out here. Besides, Talon used to be a sentinel.
And now he's been reduced to this.
Huh. And you die first.
Talon! The journal!
Toss it here!
Hey!
Look out!
Why didn't I walk in there in my suit? Why would I take my suit off?
Are you alive?
Yeah. Is that your hand?
No, it's mine.
Move it. Now.
Okay. Which way did Talon go? Commander! How'd you find us?
I followed the smoke. Passed by what was left of your javelin.
I can explain.
No! You're done. There's someone waiting at Fort Tarsus to take you home.
Commander, wait. This journal belonged to my aunt. It can solve the mystery of the Emerald Abyss. Hey!
Give it back.
Consider yourself lucky that you still have a javelin, freelancer.
At least Talon doesn't have the journal.
He doesn't need it anymore. Just didn't want you to have it. He's so far ahead. You should just give up.
Give up? Yeah, not what I do.
Good.
Dax!
We'll figure it out. Just meet me back at the port.
Okay. I mean, does Vul have the authority to impound our javelin? This is a contract we took. Someone was paying us to do something. We didn't break any rules. I feel like that's something you could argue. But for real, why did I exit this suit? Why not conduct negotiations from inside this? Where you could just reach out your fucking robo-hand and take the torch from him. And then take the journal. And maybe his arm if you wanted. Like, why? Because the plot doesn't happen if we don't do it that way. And it's like, well, then your plot's bad. It's a bad plot. You should do better. There should be no plot anywhere that hinges on the characters being stupid. None. And note, there is a difference between stupid and slipping up. This is not a slipping up thing. You're outside the walls. You would naturally, you'd have to go through effort to get out of this. To like climb out, and then go into a dangerous situation.
Go ahead, Faye.
Freelancer, I've got an escape plan, but we still need my aunt's journal.
Dax, you really need to work on your whispering skills.
What? I'm like a rabbit in the night.
Uh-huh. Does Vul still have the journal?
As far as I know, tried to get it back, but he says I can't be trusted with that book of nonsense. You might have more luck, though.
It's worth a shot.
I'm just trying to see if the textures are mirrored or if they're done on a different kind of pattern for the Damascus circles. Anyway, that's all we're doing tonight. We'll deal with this thing with Vul later. Also, continuing Matthias' story. While we basically waste time and look for, quote, resources to assemble a shield, heavy quotes, that'll allow us to just walk into the last arena. That's it. It doesn't actually protect against anything. It just triggers the ending. And yeah. For me, for now, other and better things will send you there. I'll exit Anthem. We'll see what it does this time. Sometimes we can get it to just close normal style. Wouldn't that be novel? Oh my god, it did it! Look at that, I didn't have to go and hunt it down. God. It's a poorly written, poorly designed, poorly constructed game. The only people that pulled their fucking weight was the art team. And even then, sometimes. Some of the skins are fucking atrocious. Alright. More on that later. For now, wander around on your own for a little bit.